This video is rated mature. Also, I was supposed to release this video on Halloween, but I got extremely burnt out and I didn't release it on Halloween, so just ignore me when I say that it was released on Halloween and that today is currently Halloween. I know it's not currently Halloween. It is November or December or whenever I'm releasing this video, so just ignore me whenever I talk about Halloween, okay? Capiche? Got it? Good? Cool. Love you. Hey everybody, happy Halloween. Now, I don't watch horror things, plain and simple. Violence, as long as it's not gore, violence is fine. Psychological thrillers, sure. Swearing, I don't freaking give a darn. But horror is the one genre I don't usually involve myself in. It's simply too anxiety-inducing for me. But my fear of the horror genre ends when it comes to Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared is an indie web series made by Becky Sloan and Joseph Pelling. It started out as 6 short episodes on YouTube and eventually gained an entire TV series with 6 20-minute episodes. It's about 3 puppet friends, Red Guy, Yellow Guy, and Duck, as they learn simple lessons from teachers, but the twist is that not everything is so nice and everything is weird, demented, and deeply unsettling. It's basically if Sesame Street decided to be British and scary. I love this series. It's one of my favorite indie shows of all time, and today I'm going to rank every single episode. And by that I mean the episodes from the YouTube channel and the actual series itself. You understand the premise? No? Well, what if I did this?
What's your favorite idea?
Yeah, sorry, this episode just feels off, which usually wouldn't be unheard of or even bad for this series. The show is built off unsettling moments and eerie vibes, but this episode is really neither of those, and it's just kinda gross. And again, this shouldn't be an issue at all. The series has tons of gross moments, but in this episode it just feels like it's trying too hard to be disturbing and disgusting, and honestly, it's kind of failing at it. I don't like the teachers, not because they're off-putting, but mostly because I just find them annoying and I just really hate their voices. The songs aren't super catchy or memorable. I feel like Duck kinda has nothing to do in the plot, and it's very obvious because they kick him out of the story really early on. Red Guy has this almost aimless journey throughout the episode where he tries to find a family, and I don't think it's super interesting, but it does lead to the best joke of the episode.
These pictures, they've all been framed.
Yes?
And Yellow Guy gets manipulated into being the new mother of the creepy family so that they can have the family discount when getting some KFC, which, I'll be honest, feels a bit too silly, which is something I never thought I would say about this series. The pacing is pretty slow, and just in general, this whole episode just doesn't feel like a Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared episode. I like when Roy shows up, that's always fun, but yeah, this episode just isn't my thing. There aren't any bad episodes of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, but this is definitely the weakest episode in my opinion. Oh, they also seem to have used generative AI in this sequence after Red Guy gets his DNA sample taken. Obviously, it was done in a more experimental way and was done way before AI got as bad as it is now, but it's still pretty disappointing considering how purposely, handmade the entire series is. Automatically just makes the episode worse.
What's your favorite idea?
Okay, this episode just gets on my nerves. I think the concept is really funny, and the episode has a strong start comedically, but the pacing and the general weirdness of the story really drags this episode down. This disgusting eagle guy is the teacher in charge of teaching Red Guy and Duck about being better friends to Yellow Guy, and talks about his past experience with having friends where he was so obviously the toxic friend in those situations. But that joke gets kinda old really quickly. Anyway, once we enter Yellow Guy's mind, the episode skids to a halt and I stopped liking it. A problem almost every episode of the full TV show has is that by being 22 minutes long, every episode is really slow. Some episodes manage their time wisely, but some episodes, like this one, dick around for most of the runtime instead of having something to say or do. I don't need half of the episode dedicated to Warren being shown as a toxic friend. I already knew that from his first appearance on screen. I don't need reminding. Also, hot take, I just really don't vibe with Yellow Guy's brain friends. I know the show can get weird and abstract occasionally, but this is way too abstract. Oh my god, even for the show standards. And I'm sorry, but I don't love the look of the 3D CGI animation in the sequence. It just looks weird and gross, and not in a horrific or disturbing way. It just looks, I don't know, bad. Red Guy and Duck don't have anything to do, which really sucks because they're the two most funny characters in my opinion, and also my favorites. For some positives, I really like the Call on the Computer cameo. As per usual, the puppetry is amazing. The ending song is kind of fun, but what I really love is the ending fight that you can hear over the credits. I fully recommend going online and finding out what they're saying because it's really funny. But all in all, I just find this episode to be really weak and not great. Well, now that we have the two quote-unquote bad episodes out of the way, we're gonna have a way more positive time, I hope. And again, no Don't Hug Me I'm Scared episode is bad, so I think that just says something about how truly great the show is.
What's your favorite idea?
Death is weird, because on paper, I should love this one, and when I first watched it, it was one of my favorite episodes of the TV show. But when rewatching all the episodes for this video, this one just felt all over the place, and I feel like it's trying to say a lot of things at once. But hey, maybe I'm just dumb and I don't get any of the messages. I get the whole grief can drive people crazy and nothing/nobody can replace their loved ones message, but the fact that Duck is actually alive in this scenario is the thing that confuses me. I don't really get his metaphorical situation, if that makes sense. Maybe it's that death is unfair, Duck wasn't ready to die, but he did anyway because the casket thought his name was David? I don't know, the message is just all kind of muddled and confusing, which makes the episode a little less fun to come back to. I also think the pacing hurts this episode a lot. We spend so much time checking back in with Yellow and Red Guy and the Pink Blob, and it's the same "we missed the other guy" message over and over and over again. The first song is fun, but the second song is pretty lame and forgettable until the hard turn at the end. The claymation is great, not just on the Pink Blob, but on the bloody birth of the casket as well. I like the ambiguity in the ending about if the Duck in the future episodes is the real Duck or the Pink Blob pretending to be Duck, because the Blob Duck was the one on the left, and the one on the left killed the other one, so who's to say, really? You understand what I just said, right? Please tell me you just understand what I'm saying, because that part was really hard to record, oh my god. I like the Duck in the future episodes, damn it. Real Duck or Duck, fuck, Jesus, Blob Duck, Duck in the future episodes, the real Bluck, or fuck, because the Blob Duck was the one on the left, and the one on the left killed the other one, so who's to say, really? Fuck, why did I say really twice? I like the casket teacher, and I really like the delivery on his line here.
Hey, wow, I didn't like that.
Anyway, overall, just an episode I wish I liked more, but it's all over the place.
What's your favorite idea?
This one is just a solid episode. Not that much to say, really. When you picture the idea of what a fully fledged episode of a Don't Hug Me I'm Scared TV show looks like, you probably picture something like this. It starts off simple and pure enough, and then the ending is just full chaos, just how you expect from Don't Hug Me I'm Scared. It's actually a very good introduction to what a standard Don't Hug Me I'm Scared episode looks like. Everything is off-putting, and the pacing is actually quite excellent. Just slow enough. The only criticism I have is that I wish it was more memorable. I love the stupid job song, but that's all I can remember when I try to think about this episode. It has some good messaging about how soul-sucking and time-wasting the blue-collar work environment can be, but that's pretty much it. Just a fine episode that doesn't give me any strong feelings.
What's your favorite idea?
Bet you didn't expect to see an OG episode this far down the list, huh? Look, this episode is a classic. It's what started this whole thing. It is fantastic for what it is. But what it is a comedy video that wasn't expected to have sequels. It's not saying anything, like it doesn't have a message, it's just trying to be shocking and crazy, which it is, and that's completely fine. But if anything, it's more of a proof of concept, not that that's what it is or what it's meant to be. Again, it's basically just a YouTube comedy video. But if we're ranking these episodes, this episode just doesn't have a lot going for it. The last portion of the video is just off the rails, scary imagery, and you know what? That's okay. I still love this episode so much. I just think there are better episodes.
What's your favorite idea?
The finale of the TV show is pretty stellar, I gotta say. Something you should know about me is that my favorite episodes of Don't Hug Me I'm Scared have a big lore element to them. And what I mean by that is that I love the episodes that connect heavily with other episodes. And this episode is just 100% lore. The amount of interesting theories that surround the show and what his real story is amazing, and I think it's a really cool idea to make everything as vague as possible to give the fans something to theorize over. I love the Leslie stuff. I love Yellow Guy being smart. That's a fun twist. I love the way the ending basically says fuck you and all your theories are wrong by having the characters shred up the book that explains everything. I love the cameos from past teachers. I absolutely adore the scene where Red Guy and Duck are in the darkness and admit to each other that they like looking at each other. It's very cute. And also just shows off the main strength of the TV show, which is letting the main characters feel like characters. Duck especially became easily one of the highlights of the series for me because he actually gets lines and a personality. The only thing I didn't love was the way that Red Guy and Duck aren't in the episode all that much. This episode is really all about Yellow Guy and his discoveries, and then Red Guy and Duck are just kind of doing things in the background essentially. Since it's the finale, I was really hoping to get an equal share of the characters. Red Guy is my favorite character, but something I don't like is how inconsistent he can be with his writing. He's naive like the other characters, sure, but I always saw him as the main voice of reason in the trio, like how in episode 5 he's the character with the only sort of reason and logic to what he's doing. But in some episodes, he can just be as dumb as Yellow Guy. In this episode, I think he's very dumb, unfortunately. It's not a huge issue for me because, again, the series is kind of built on the idea that everything is weird and inconsistent, and the characters are supposed to be naive, but in this episode specifically, I just feel like they wrote the same character twice instead of making Duck and Red Guy separate characters. They ultimately react the same way to the electrical situation, and it just means there's two characters on screen who act the same way, and if you know me at all, you know that I hate unnecessary characters, but we won't get into that again. Bottom line is that this episode is good, but it's definitely not the best quote-unquote story-driven episode the series has. Now this is what I'm talking about. This is the best episode of the TV show. It's paced exceptionally well, every character gets their time to shine, and they all feel like three distinct and separate characters. The episode has two pretty good songs. Red Guy gets to be the voice of reason, which is my favorite version of him. The serious and more character-driven moments are amazing in this episode. I love the ending and how ominous it is, and yeah, it's just all around an amazing episode. It's basically a bottle episode, which means it's set in one simple location for pretty much the entire episode, and something about me is that I love bottle episodes. They're usually my favorite kinds of episodes on any TV show because I find them so interesting and creative. But yeah, this episode is great, and I think it's the best episode of the TV show run.
What's your favorite?
Yeah, you saw this coming. The original series is mostly unbeatable, and nothing in the TV show can come close, and it's pretty easy to see why. The episodes are usually around 6 minutes long, and the amount of detail and work put into the small amount of time is not only impressive, but inspiring. I love the vibe the original series has. If you thought the TV show had fun things and pieces of lore for you to make theories about, the original run has that beat. And if you ask me what theory I align with, at least for the original run, I stand by MatPat's theory about how the original run is a huge metaphor for indie creators and a commentary on children's entertainment. In my opinion, that theory is pretty accurate sounding, so I highly recommend watching those theories if you feel like that's an interesting explanation for the show. Now, with all this being said, besides episode 1, what is the weakest of the original run? And my answer would have to be episode 6, Dreams. It's got amazing lore stuff with Red Guy and Roy, it's got a great song, I love the ending a lot, and it's just overall a stellar finale. Anything I dislike? I mean, I guess I was sad that Duck wasn't in it more, but honestly, there's nothing bad about this episode. I'm gonna be honest, the rest of this list has nothing I dislike. It's basically just a contest of, well, which one do I prefer more? And me gushing over how great the series is, so let's just continue. Episode 5 is the only episode of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared that I'd say I'm scared of. Sure, every episode has unsettling and kinda scary stuff, but nothing I can't handle. But when it comes to this episode and just watching as Duck gets more and more uncomfortable with the situation, it just makes my skin crawl. The point that really gets me is the Stranger's Plate sequence where the voices of the teachers overlap and the song stops. It makes me super uncomfortable.
Stranger's Plate, Stranger's Plate, Stranger's Plate, Stranger's Plate, Stranger's Plate, Stranger's Plate, Stranger's Plate.
Oh, also there's cannibalism, which is also kind of freaky. Speaking of that, the episode has just the right amount of pure shock and grossness, and I really like it for that. I guess the only thing I wish the episode had was Red Guy, but honestly, it makes the story better that he's not here, so I'm fine with that. Good stuff.
What's your favorite?
Episode 3 is super fun and was actually originally number 1 on the list before I rewatched it and realized the next 2 on the list were slightly better. But what made me love this episode so much I almost gave it the top spot? It's because it's about cults. I'm a sucker for a good cult story. I don't know why I am, but I just am. I love how simple the episode twists a simple message about love into a message about how people in cults are easily manipulated. The natural flow of the episode in general is just super impressive and well-paced. It's funny, the song is great, and overall, I just think it's a really fun episode to watch. I just enjoy it, man, but it's definitely not number 1. In my opinion, episode 2 is just a better put together episode compared to episode 1. Episode 1 kinda just goes full crazy out of nowhere, but episode 2's craziness builds up over the course of the episode, which is much more indicative of the rest of the show. I think Tony the Talking Clock is the best teacher the series has ever had. He really is the true star of this episode in a way that I don't think any other teacher has had, and that's really just because he's so goddamn funny. Everything he says is either vague or confusing, and anytime the characters try to ask a clarifying question or explain something themselves, he basically just tells them to shut the fuck up by screaming at them. He's just hilarious to watch, if we're being honest. The song he sings is also the best song on the entire show.
Let's go on a journey through all time, a time that's changing all the time, it's time to go to time!
I think it's also the most memorable episode of the entire show outside of the first episode. It's just all around a collection of great moments, fantastic puppetry and direction, a great song, and a memorable teacher and storyline. But there's just one episode that tops it all. Episode 4, Computer, is everything great about Don't Hug Me I'm Scared compiled into one episode. For starters, this is when the set design, puppetry, and effects start really getting good in the series, and the money from the funding campaigns start really showing off. Colin the Computer is really fun as a character and has a banger song. This is when the story starts to get more serialized and we see that Red Guy is becoming more aware of how messed up the lessons are, and again, is the voice of reason. There are tons of funny moments.
Oh, look, nothing.
And overall, there isn't a single aspect of this episode that makes me frown. It's just so fantastic in every way. This episode reminds me of why I love this series so damn much. Not only is it funny and my kind of horror, it's also technically an indie production and shows off how great the medium of puppetry is, and also that you can make something really amazing if you're passionate. And so with that I say that Computer is the best episode of Don't Hug Me I'm Scared. I'm gonna be real with you guys, this was hard. Usually I don't find rankings to be hard at all, but with this series it's hard to rank the episodes how I'd usually rank any other piece of media. Usually I'd rank based on the writing, but if you couldn't tell, Don't Hug Me I'm Scared doesn't actually have an overarching storyline, and it's all really vague and up for your own interpretation. Also, the series is just kinda naturally good. Like, sure, there's weak episodes, but they're still really fantastic and pretty fun to watch, and the production design is always top-notch. And so trying to make a ranking video that wasn't just, yeah, this one's great, and so is this one and this one, was a difficult task, but hopefully I delivered something y'all like. If you want more videos like this, let me know. I'm so down to do so. Happy Halloween, everyone, and smiles to you!
What's your favourite idea? Mine is being creative. How do you get the idea? I just try to think creatively. When you look at this orange, tell me please, what do you see? It's just a boring old orange. Or maybe to you, but not to me. I see a silly face, walking along and smiling at me. I don't see what you mean, 'cause you're not thinking.